I'm Martin Sunday from Martin Sunday Lighting Designs. Let's talk about light. Good morning, Stathis.
Good morning, Martin. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. It's great to be here. I'd like to introduce you as a man who learned to see differently, more as an observer, not as a technician.
That sounds great.
Awesome. When was the first time you became aware of light?
I think it goes all the way back to when I was in high school and I had a photography class and I was driving around on my little VW Bug in Plymouth, Michigan, where I grew up.
And you're from there?
And I'm from there, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was looking for things to take pictures of. And it was in the wintertime and there was this incredible tree that had just the perfect canopy of branches, but no leaves. And so I took this picture against the sky of just this tree. And so it was the black and the white of the tree and the sky interposed. And when I developed it, it was like, wow, this is such a great picture. So I wanted to play around with it. So I took and I double developed it with the tree coming down and also the tree going up. And it was stunning. I wish I had the picture to show you today. It was just really cool. I began to see and look at things in a different way because of that photography class, because of what I was seeing on paper and what I was seeing through the camera. And it really gave me an interesting viewpoint on how light and objects interact.
Why do you think that mattered to you? What was going on at that time in your life?
It was a time in my life where I was still trying to figure out who I was and struggling with it quite a bit. So it was something to focus on as a creative outlet.
Okay.
And that was really, really important. It became really important for me because for me, creativity is a big part of how I live.
I can attest to that.
I have, in my house, I collect art. In the office, we have art lit up. That really affects me on an emotional basis, but not just that. It even affects me on a spiritual basis. It really feeds my soul.
So would you say it was spiritual, instinctual, or emotional, or all of the above?
I don't think it was instinctual. I think it was more learned, actually. It was interesting. At that time in my life, I went to a high school that was really different. It had an innovative class system with a lot of really cool classes that were out of the norm. And there, again, it was very stimulating, creative environment to grow up in.
Did you think you were noticing things others weren't? Did you feel isolated in that? Or was it something that you realized other people were noticing?
It wasn't that I felt isolated because of that. I felt isolated, but not because of how I was seeing things. I felt isolated because I was growing up in a culture where it told me that I wasn't okay. The way I wasn't okay. And I struggled with that. So it really, it was a fairly tough time for me as a teenager.
So it was a sort of metaphor for you of what you were going through.
Right.
That creative interest.
It gave me an outlet.
Yeah, I understood.
It gave me an outlet where I felt purposeful, and I felt good about my creative outlet. I felt good about what I was creating.
Did you feel talented at it, or did you just feel like you were kind of in a flow state?
Probably more the flow state. I still wouldn't have said talented because I had a tough upbringing with a stepfather who was pretty abusive. And that the message I got from that was not good enough.
Understood.
Not lovable, not worthy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think all of us kind of carried that around, but I just felt good that I was able to create something. And I still feel that today when I'm working in people's homes and doing what I do, and we do. And I mean,
I've seen it. I mean, I've told you this many times. That's what I think. That's one of my most enjoyable parts of what we do is when we're doing the adjustments. It's two kind of fold. I see that kind of you become childlike in your joy of it, but then I also get to see our clients and our partners that we work with see the magic in it. And it really isn't clear until that point. So I get that.
And it's hard to convey that to the client. Like it's a thing that we've tried to educate people on, but it's a tough thing.
Well, I think that's part of why we're doing this, to get better at that.
Yeah.
I'm curious, do you have anything like a photo or something that reminds you of that?
As a matter of fact.
Okay.
So how that photography class affected my viewing things, again, is still at work today. There's a art studio in town called Art of the World that carries amazing artwork from all over the world. And they're very...
John Westheimer.
It's on Westheimer,
Yeah.
near Shepherd. They have amazing pieces of art. And so I did the lighting design for the whole studio, but I also, for the first 2 or 3 years, they would have me come in and adjust every exhibition that came in. And so they had an exhibition, and I got to do my magic on these incredible artists. And one of them was this woman from New York who she had sculptures that were very lifelike. But there was this one sculpture that I remember that was 2 men, acrobatics, on top of each other. And this is what I ended up doing with the light.
Cool. Yeah. That's still there, that installation?
No,
Or no?
no, it's not. It's gone now.
Okay. Okay.
But just the way that the shadows
Yeah, that's
turned
shadows.
out. Yeah, the way the shadows turned out
Okay.
and interacted with the artwork became a part of the magic of it.
When you saw that at Art of the World, you instantly thought of that photo?
Well, I started playing,
Okay.
and in the playing with the light, right, I came at it with 2 different lights that caused these shadows, and then I was able to balance them to get it where it was just almost like Erte. It was a very symmetrical shadows with the
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Would you say there's something about that that felt mysterious to you?
You know, lighting is mysterious. I mean, when I would be going through the studio and I would be adjusting lights on the ladder by myself, and I would hit the light just right, and something would happen in the pictures that was really mysterious, very magical. And I remember telling Ileana, the owner, I said, "Oh my God, I can't believe I get to do my talent on this incredibly talented artwork, and I get paid for it."
Yeah. Yeah.
Shortly thereafter, they stopped paying me.
It's interesting you bring that up. That's been the experience I've felt when we've gone and done adjustments, that playing with the light, it's not logical. It's not as simple as you've pointed it in a certain direction and that would be obvious. It would light a certain way. It's what happens in the interchange of the space that becomes very subjective.
Yeah, some of the pieces that have multiple lights on it, I will use a floodlight to kind of wash the painting, but then based on what's in the painting, I will use a spotlight to kind of accent just that piece. I remember I was doing a house many years ago, and there was a abstract that kind of looked like a misty street in London, and there was an image that was light and the rest of it was kind of shaded dark. And so I hit that with the beam and then lit the rest of it, and it was like pop, it really created that where you do feel sort of a mystical, emotional feeling.
Kind of intangible, but
Yeah.
also powerful.
It's interesting. Light does have that ability to affect us. And it was very powerful when I was seeing these different pieces that the light would suddenly pop. It takes me back to, I remember a time in when I was in my 20s, living in California, and had spent the day with some friends on San Onofre Beach.
Where's San Onofre?
It's near the nuclear reactors between San
Talk about
Diego.
powerful.
Talk
Yeah.
about powerful,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Between San Diego and Laguna. So I'd spent the day on the beach with some friends, and it was toward the end of the day. Everybody had left. My partner was taking a friend back to his car, and I was sitting on the beach alone. And there were these birds flying over, and the clouds, the light was coming through the clouds. And there's just this moment that was so amazing. And I suddenly felt like there were 3 friends of mine that had passed away, like they were there with me, which kind of freaked me out a little bit. But
That's freaky.
it's a little freaky.
Yeah.
But they kind of like made their presence known, and then I was like, okay. And then they left, and when they left, I was left with the poem. And here's the poem. The name of the poem is The Love That Is.
Okay.
The love that is comes from deep within my heart. It wells up from my soul and fills my body with your love. Out into the world it flows, touching and remembering, bringing light for all to see. For the love that is real, beyond imagination, forever gracing this world. For we are the love that is.
Come on, you wrote it?
It was just,
I mean,
it was
did you
just
write
in my
it
head?
down?
Yeah, I wrote it down. It was just in my head after
That's amazing.
that experience. Yeah, I was sitting there on the beach, and the light off the water and the light from the sky, from the clouds, it was just created this incredible experience where I just suddenly felt my heart open. And 3 of my friends who had passed away were like there.
Did you see them? Were they lit?
No, it was
What was
more
the
like
light,
it was more
the
like
beach
a
light?
feeling of their presence.
Okay. That is just beautiful. That actually reminds me of when you and I first met 12 years ago. Do you remember that?
I do.
Well, we'd already met. We were in a men's group together, but we started about 12 years ago. We started having coffee, and I remember we were talking about lighting, but we weren't talking about like work or lighting design. We were talking about kind of the nature of work and what it means to be working. Do you remember that conversation?
Very distinctly. It was at a time, so I had moved to Houston to work for a company called Lighting Incorporated, and I was their inside lighting designer.
At that time, how long had you been there? Like 12 years ago?
No, 12 years ago, I would have been there for probably 6, 7 years, 8 years.
Okay.
And I was, after about a year of working for them, they said, oh, yeah, we're going to take your salary away. We're going to put you on 100% commission, and we're going to put you in sales. You're going to do great. And I was like, what? And I was struggling because I'm a bit of an introvert, and sales isn't like, a natural thing for me. Not terribly creative, at least I didn't think so. And you said something that really impressed me. It really had a big impression on me. And that was that you had heard a quote by the Dallas Cowboys.
The Jerry Jones quote.
The Jerry Jones quote that said, it's not about going out and finding something that you love doing and then getting good at it.
Right.
Going out and finding your dream,
I
right?
remember.
It's more about finding something that you like doing, and when you get good at it, you'll become passionate about it.
Ah, yes. I remember that all too well. Isn't this about passion and committing to something?
What do
The
you
mastery of the work?
mean? It has become that.
Yeah.
I didn't start out to be a lighting designer. I didn't. I was.
Oh, you didn't know that you would be.
No, I was. Went to University of Michigan. I studied computer science.
Because I remember thinking you were a sales guy.
Yeah, well, I was not a sales guy.
Yeah. No. I mean, you told me like the work that you were doing.
Yeah. And what was great about the sales is that I was selling lighting equipment, and I also could help them engineer jobs. So there was I had a little bit of an edge, but it wasn't what gave me passion, and it wasn't what I was like excited about doing. I started back then beginning to do lighting design for people amongst the sales that I was doing. But you helped me do better at doing the sales because it was okay, but I put more passion into it. And I could see the pathway to get to where we are today through that career, that job.
That's awesome. The pivotal moments of memory of like past lives,
Right.
That's neat. What was frustrating to you about that period of time that you felt you had to push through? I understand that you were, you said you weren't passionate necessarily about what you were doing, but Why was that frustrating to you?
You know, it's frustrating because I'm really am an introvert. So the idea of just going and talking to people was so unnatural to me, to just like go up to people I don't know and talk to them. And so that was a real struggle. And not having a steady income was also a bit of a struggle, because I never knew how much I was going to make that month, but
It was pure 100% commission?
100% commission.
Got it.
So there was it was a little tough, but that was at a time where I was really starting to wake up to some inner truths about myself. And that was through the men's work we did, the Mankind Project, the Warrior Weekend. And that became a passion for me. And for many years, I staffed a lot of weekends, and that's how we met.
Yep.
I was staffing your weekend. And eventually I became the chairman of the board of directors for the property where those are held. And I began to, I was also at that time doing 12-step work. And the 12-step work was a deep dive into myself and who I was. And that really, I sometimes say that I feel sorry for people that don't get the opportunity to work the 12 steps because of the great inspirational stuff that we get, the being able to see inside the stuff that we have that we can work through working with the sponsor and stuff.
We've had that discussion about recovery. Everyone, if they could do it, would get something from it, for sure.
For sure, yeah.
So what would you say you learned from that experience?
I learned humility, I learned compassion, I learned self-worth. For so long I struggled with that. And I think we all do. But what did you learn from it?
That the part about work, about learning to do something for the sake of it, I kind of think of it as Sisyphus pushing the rock up the hill.
Right.
If you do the work for the sake of it and get better at it, I found, like, we've almost been working together for 5 years in this role in operations for the company. There have been challenging times for a small company. We've been through that together. And I know for me that I learned if I forget about the parts of it that are just frustrating, but just focus on the work that needs to get done, there's some completion in that.
Yeah.
And so I've definitely learned that about myself. And you and I laugh and can smile about it. We've at times butted heads over stressful parts of this journey.
Absolutely.
But what's fun about it, I know I believe we both feel this way, is it kind of, to your point, it's easier now than ever because we've just done the work, and
right.
we've stuck to it.
And we built the systems,
yep.
And we built the processes and the SOPs, and yeah, absolutely, it's become so much easier. Still, there's those times when
it's still challenging.
Yeah, it's still challenging. There's those times when, as a business owner and with a new fledgling company, having all the fear that comes up, like, oh, here's payroll coming again. When the fear comes up, one of the biggest things I've learned is that the antidote to fear is faith.
Yeah, more times than I want to remember, care to remember the day of payroll. We make it somehow.
Yeah, we always make it.
Yeah, we do. Well, that's the faith.
Yeah.
You and I both have that faith.
A lot of faith.
And we definitely, we know what we're doing is beyond just the work of it. I think it's a big part of the reason we want to do this podcast.
Our mission is we light up people's lives through the use of light technology. And our motto is, let us light up your life. So we do more than just lighting design because of the principles we built in, the values we built into our company culture of that we want to be bringing more light to the world just in the work that we do, and we can.
So Martin, light helps people see, and from our mission statement, we are helping people see differently. Am I understanding correctly?
Yeah. So,
Tell me more about that.
well, I mean, we're living in a tough time. I mean, things are pretty
Turbulent.
turbulent from day to day.
Yeah.
And light lights up our lives, our homes, our environments, our work, our office. Light can help change the way we see, but also changing the way we see, like, our perspective is everything.
Your perspective is your perception.
Yeah, well, and we can shift our perspective. I'm one of those half full guys. Matter of fact, I'm kind of a serial optimist. Sometimes not to my benefit, but I think it's by having good perspective, we can change how we feel and how people around us feel. Just getting out of my car a couple days ago, I got out of my car, and the lights in the car in front of me came on, and I was like, how did I do that? And I got out, and this lady was just getting to her car, and I was like, oh. I said, I saw your lights come on. I was wondering how I did that. And she laughed.
Yeah.
And she said, have a great day. And we both smiled. And, just like little things like that shift our
An illuminated moment
illuminated moment.
where you connected with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I am curious, Martin Sunday, can you walk into a room, walk into a new place you're seeing and not analyze the light? Do you see just the light? Are you seeing what happens inside of your brain?
Well, let me tell you a story.
Okay.
So,
I have no idea what story you're
second
about to
date
say.
with my husband.
Okay.
We were in La Madeleine's in the Rice Village, because he's a professor at Rice University. And I'm looking around, and he's thinking, I'm bored.
Okay,
What am I
can
doing?
imagine that.
I'm looking around, looking at the lighting and how bad it was.
Right.
And the lady, he tells this story because he was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's the light.
Head
it's
on
the
a
light."
swivel.
Yeah,
Right.
I was like,
It was, but for the lighting.
for the lighting.
Yeah. Do you think light changes the way people behave?
Oh, for sure. So if you walk into a bright restaurant, are you going to stay in there for very long?
No.
Yeah. Or if you walk into a room in a house that's super lit and, it's late at night and you want to relax, you're going to go turn the lights off unless you've got dimmers on. And, I know many homes I walked into and most of the lights don't have dimmers. I'm like, they don't even use the lights. They're like, oh, we hate recessed lighting. Like, well, you hate recessed lighting because you don't know how to use recessed lighting.
Right. And so in that moment too, you also realize, certainly it's about the lighting, but you realize it's what their perception of it is.
It's about how the lighting makes them feel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's how when we walk into a really well-lit restaurant, my favorite job that we've done in the last few years is Annabelle's restaurant, where we lit up the ceiling with all these flowers and plants hanging from it. And when you walk in, it feels great. Not because the light's really bright, because the ceiling is like highlighted and it looks beautiful.
Do you think that makes people feel calm?
Yeah.
Or is it that they feel at peace?
Good lighting actually helps regulate your system, your nervous system.
Because like Annabelle's, I noticed with Annabelle's that I don't feel agitated. I feel there's something light about it,
Right.
the feeling of that space. I know we designed that
But
job.
it's all the color and all that lit up. It's lit up and it's really beautiful, and people feel more beautiful when they're in a beautiful lit environment. Of course, what they're not going to notice is the lighting, is the light, right? Because good lighting, you don't notice it. It blends in with the space organically and just, it's not trying to be showy, right? The best lighting is when you can't see where the source is and things are just lit up.
That makes a lot of sense. I understand that.
Yeah.
Is learning to see something that can be taught, or does someone have to decide to notice?
I think it's less about deciding and more about awareness. once you see something, you can't not see it. Like when you walk into a space, what do you look at?
I mean, I notice everything now. I notice good light, bad light,
Yeah.
what didn't work. I can't help it now.
Right. But
My
you didn't,
perception
before you started working for me,
didn't even really think
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
So I think it's when we have the awareness of what good lighting is, and we've been in good lit well lit environments, that's when we begin to like want that for ourselves.
Your perception changes.
Perception changes, you become aware of it, and then you have more of, it might even have more of a impact to be noticing good lighting.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you, Martin, for taking the time to sit down with me and talk about light. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. So on our next episode, we're going to talk about how light inspires us.